Let's begin, obviously, with the big news. The White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's supposed to be an evening of fun and merriment until, like most things in America, it was interrupted by gunfire. This is why we can't have nice things. And to be perfectly frank, it's not even a nice thing. Nobody wanted this f***ing dinner in the first... Nobody needed... We're so f***ed in this country right now. We can't even pull off a dinner that shouldn't have existed in the first place. Hey, let's celebrate the First Amendment with an administration that's doing everything it can do to destroy it. Sounds great. Should we hold the dinner in a secure location? Well, we could. Or, you know what? Why not just the Hilton? Let's just, you know what? Let's not hold it in a secure location. Let's go to the Hilton. You know the Hilton slogan, more hard to defend entry points than rooms. Why did you do it? And now, fortunately and amazingly, no fatalities. Nobody was really hurt. But make no mistake, in crisis situations like this, people tend to show you who they really are. And who the elite of Washington, D.C. are is... like this influencer whose caption says, "Shooter at the White House Correspondent Dinner," but whose duck face says, "Coachella." We're all gonna die, Gucci. Or these hard-nosed Washington insiders who made sure, in a life or death situation, to grab the things most dear to them, the bottle service. What? If only I had more time, I could have saved the rosé. And then, of course, there was this guy.
Check this video out. The left side of your screen, this man, creative artist, agent, super agent Michael Glantz, has gone viral for eating food casually as people are crouched down after this shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
You may have noticed Trump's demeanor very conciliatory and pleasant towards the reporter. Perhaps this is the new Trump.
I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight.
I was going to really rip it last night. I was talking about everybody. And then they said, well, my speech is going to be much different. It'll be a speech of love.
Love. His perspective has completely changed. Until... See if you can spot the moment in the Norah O'Donnell interview where Trump decides, nah, f*** that.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, "Administration officials, they are targets." And he also wrote this, "I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes."
Did you catch it? He does one of those Jim from The Office camera takes. I'm not... Yeah, that's... Yeah. Remember that nice thing? Yeah, no. Now, to be fair to Trump, why would you read out loud the would-be assassin's political take? I think once you go vigilante, you forfeit the platform. I'm sorry. But she got the soundbite she was looking for.
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
I mean, I was just reading you the Assassin Manifesto. I had no idea you would think he was referring to you. Lord have mercy. But you know what? Maybe this is a moment where Trump will rise up. These events clearly point out that we have a problem in this country at the nexus of mental health and the availability of powerful weapons. And maybe, just maybe, this sobering night will spur a movement for some solutions.
We looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I didn't want to say this.
I know what he's going to say. We need to put a ton of money towards mental health and getting illegal weapons off the streets. That's what he's going to say. Or, I'm no mentalist. Did you have something else in mind?
It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom.
Yeah, that's a great solution to gun violence for you. What about the unballroomed rest of us? Malls, churches, schools, synagogue, wherever. Not every town can have a ballroom. Didn't you even see Footloose?
Donald Trump still doesn't have a ballroom, all right? Let's get into it in our new segment, Let Them Eat Ballroom.
The country's going to hell in a handbasket. Let's do a little dancing.
As we all know, there was an attempted assassination at the White House Correspondents' Dinner this weekend, which, first of all, terrible week for light-skinned dudes. You got this guy going for the president and chewing carpet, Klay Thompson cheating on Megan Thee Stallion. No pressure, but Drake, this album's got to be fire. It's all on you. But that was just my takeaway. Republicans had another, somehow dumber takeaway.
A group of Senate Republicans is pushing to fund the construction of President Trump's 90,000 square foot ballroom using taxpayer money.
We're going to introduce legislation that would authorize $400 million to be spent to secure to build the presidential ballroom.
$400 million? That's our money. Why do we have to pay for this? We didn't try to shoot the president. Make this guy pay for the ballroom. This is the administration that is obsessed with government waste. I can't believe they dissolved DOJ right before Trump demanded a $400 million ballroom. It's like how the Michael Jackson movie ended right before he starts molesting. You just went ahead and skipped all the important stuff, huh? We live in such a crazy time now that events don't even need to be connected to each other. Someone tried to kill the president, so now we're going to build a ballroom. But I feel like someone completely trustworthy told us we wouldn't have to pay for anything.
We're putting up our own money with the government is paying for nothing. We did this no charge to the taxpayer whatsoever. All private money. Not one penny is being used from the federal government.
And to his word, it isn't one penny. It's 40 billion pennies. Honestly, as soon as I heard about the ballroom, I knew we would end up paying for it. Like, Trump is the type of dude to wine and dine you and then forget his wallet. You know, he'll just be sitting with you like, I hope you had a great time. I just... I hate to do this, but we're still gonna have sex, right? Don't get me wrong. With so many seniors getting scammed in America, I'm glad one of them is turning the tables. I just don't want it to be on us, you know? And $400 million is way too much. Why is this ballroom so expensive? Is the roof gonna be made of Coachella tickets? What could possibly make this thing cost so much? Like, be specific.
Underneath, there will be a lot of military stuff.
Military stuff? What military stuff? Name 10 military stuffs. I'll wait. Lindsey Graham sounds like me in 5th grade trying to convince my mom to get me an Xbox. Like, you know, they make educational games, too. Here's what I don't get. The president travels with tons of security everywhere he goes. So what problem are we trying to solve exactly?
The ballroom itself will avoid the dilemma of having to leave the White House grounds. He literally could have left his bedroom, walked out the back of the White House, and been at the ballroom.
Wait. The president needs to walk out of his bedroom into the ballroom. This feels like it's Lindsey's dream. I can see Lindsey like, I must rise from my silk sheets and directly into the cotillion. Oh, it's a mass cotillion where I can be my truest self. This is not what a president is supposed to be focused on, unless that president is 7 years old. You know, they're writing a list like, I'm gonna have a slide that goes right from my bed to the pool. And I want a soup made out of candy, so whenever I get hungry, I can just eat my shirt. But still, as good as the White House is, Trump is gonna have to leave sometimes.
It really does put President Trump at risk to go around Washington, D.C. like this. The president should not have to leave the White House to go to the Kennedy Center, to go to the Hilton, and venture out. People should come to him.
Wait. The president should have to leave his house? You don't want the leader of the free world to visit anything. Hold on. Is the president depressed? I know people keep trying to shoot him, but still. Come to think of it, did he just get McDonald's DoorDash to the house? That sounds like a man who's given up on life, you know? Wait till he finds out about Snuggies. There have to be arguments for this ballroom that don't just make the president sound like an indoor cat.
I never understood the opposition to the ballroom. I mean, all women love ballrooms.
All women love ballrooms? That argument is so sexist, it's one step away from being super woke. Like, all women love ballrooms, why can't the president feel like a pretty girl? So yesterday, King Charles dropped by, and he brought some jokes to cheer us up.
This is a city which symbolizes a period in our shared history, or what Charles Dickens might have called a tale of two Georges.
Wow, he really commands the stage. I'm sorry. He really colonizes the stage. What's annoying about this as a comedian is that he is actually killing. I mean, look at him feeling himself in the laughs.
A tale of two Georges.
He's even got like a signature move with his hands and everything. And Charles did not stop there.
250 years ago, or as we say in the United Kingdom, just the other day,
dare I say that if it wasn't for us, you'd be speaking French.
You know, I've always wondered what White Def Jam would be like. I kind of want him to keep going. Like, you ever notice that white people drive like this and black people steal your son? But yeah, Charles is crushing. Hit us with another one.
Magna Carta is cited in at least 160 Supreme Court cases since 1789, not least as the foundation of the principle that executive power is subject to checks and balances.
Ooh, he got us too good. No, it's funny because we don't have checks and balances anymore because the foundations of our democracy are slowly being eroded away. Like, are you crazy, Chuck? You crazy. Oh, the best part of that joke is that right after Charles warned us about a leader with unchecked power, Trump was like, that's a good idea.
Breaking news, former FBI Director James Comey, one of President Trump's biggest political adversaries, has been indicted for a second time.
Now that's timing. Just to get you up to speed, a year ago, James Comey did the most retired old man thing ever. He walked on a beach and took a picture of seashells and even posted it on social media like we wanted to see it too.
This since deleted Instagram post from Comey showing the numbers 8647 written in seashells on the beach with the caption, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." Trump supporters condemning that post, claiming it was a call to 86 or kill the 47th president.
The seashells? That's the threat? Are you sure he was acting alone? Because as long as we're indicting, I heard about a woman who sells seashells by the seashore. That's suspicious as hell. Seriously, how do you get from this post, James Comey wants to murder the president?
James Comey is a very intelligent man. I would assume he knows what the term 86 means. I was a waiter for some time. When you 86 an order, you kill the order. When you 86-45, that is tantamount to saying killing the President of the United States. He should have known that.
When you 86 an order, you get rid of the order, right? But you're not actually, you're not killing the food.
What's up, guys? I'm Mo Amer. Before we get started, I should confess something. Mo is actually my nickname. My full name is Muhammad. You're welcome. It's the most popular name in the world. All right? Lots of Muslims are named Muhammad. Muhammad Ali, greatest of all time. Soccer legend, Mo Salah. Hell, Sabrina Carpenter just changed her name to Muhammad. We accept your apology, girl. Be cool, just chill. But for some reason, being afraid of Muslims is really trendy right now.
Islam is not compatible with Western civilization.
That's not a religion, that's a cult.
They are here to impose their way of life on all of you.
I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Deport them all.
Congressman Randy Fine of Florida explicitly saying, quote, "We need more Islamophobia, not less."
Stand with radical Islam, and you can Allah Akbar your butt all the way back to the Middle East.
What? Allahu Akbar means God is great. You want me to God is great my tutkas back to the Middle East? Are you having a stroke? You need to Allahu Akbar to a doctor ASAP. Sheesh. It turned up the Islamophobia all the way up to a 10, or at least somewhere between 9 and 11. I know. We didn't do it, okay? George Bush did it. Anyway, this is where your old pal Mo Amer comes in. I grew up in Houston, Texas with the first name Muhammad, so I'm kind of an expert in Islamophobia. Although some people assume my name was Hector Gomez. Saludos, mis amigos. But I want to tell you something right now. I've been hearing your Islamophobia, and I'm offended. Not from the hate, but because it's so inaccurate. For example, I've been seeing a lot of you do this.
Here's your kryptonite, Muslims. Here's your kryptonite.
Ma'am, you have a pig on top of a stick right now. What made you bring a pig out here today?
I just want to stay safe, and I know they won't get close to hogs.
Lady, you're doing too much, all right? You don't need that pig head to keep us away. That hat and that eye patch are enough. And by the way, we're definitely not intimidated when you leave the price tag on. Are you planning to return it? I mean, that poor guy at Home Depot is like, ma'am, I told you all pig head on a stick sales are final. But listen, Islamophobes, bacon is not our kryptonite. I mean, what do you think happens to us? You think I walk into a Denny's and go, what's that smell? Ah! My powers! My powers! I lost my Sharia super sight! Oh no! Ah! And for the record, you're not supposed to eat pork either. All right? That's in the Bible too. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. I stay at a lot of hotels. I'm lonely. Y'all give us way too much credit. You even act like we've taken over entire continents.
Islam has conquered Europe. They've been taken over by the Muslims.
London is basically London-stan.
Germany, fully conquered by Islam, it would appear.
We lost New York.
During Ramadan, New Yorkers are now waking up to this.
That's not Iraq. It's not Afghanistan. That's Times Square.
Times Square? Wait. Times Square? You gonna blame us for noise in Times Square? It's Times Square. These Muslims are keeping us up all night, all hours, in a city that doesn't sleep. Hey, I want to be a part of it. Islam, Islam.
Let's start with the latest update on the war in Iran, which is that there is no update. It's still happening, you know? I'm starting to get worried about my river cruise this summer up the Strait of Hormuz. Man, I booked a balcony room, too. But don't worry, because Donald Trump is doing everything he can to wrap it up.
We're having talks with him now, and we're not flying anymore with 18-hour flights every time we want to see a piece of paper. We're doing it telephonically, and it's very nice.
Telephonically? Damn, that's an impressive word, yo. Makes anyone with a phone sound like a wizard. I ordered large meat lovers telephonically. Now, to be clear, that is a word, but he didn't know that. He talks the way I play Scrabble, you know? Just like, oh, wow, I was just throwing letters together. How many points is that? That was from yesterday, during an event Trump did with the Artemis astronauts and the chief of NASA. And we all know Trump loves space, so he has the utmost respect for these professionals.
Sorry, are you considering relocating NASA's headquarters out of D.C. once the lease is up? States like Texas, Ohio, and Florida.
Well, the best man to tell you that is the man standing right over here. You heard that question? With those beautiful ears of yours? He's got great hearing, you know. He's got super hearing.
Trick of the trade, sir.
Wow. He's just standing there like, good one, sir. Haven't heard that since grade school, and I didn't think I'd hear it again, but I did. In my 40s. From the president. Trump just can't resist being a bully. He's sitting there like, hey, they say in space no one can hear you scream except for this guy, right? He can definitely hear it. Am I right? Am I right? And by the way, these astronauts do not look happy to be there. They're like, this is the most uncomfortable I've ever felt, and 2 weeks ago I was pooping in zero gravity. But let's move on, because while Trump was ear-shaming astronauts, the Supreme Court was busy at work.
This morning, the Supreme Court delivering a major blow to the landmark Voting Rights Act.
The court's conservative majority ruling 6-3 that Louisiana's current congressional map with 2 majority African-American districts is unconstitutional, saying lawmakers allowed race to play a part in government decision-making. Democrats blasting the ruling, arguing that other majority black districts are now vulnerable to being erased.
That's right. The Supreme Court saw that Louisiana had 2 whole black congressmen, and they were like, whoa, what is this, Showtime at the Apollo? Let's dial this back. But now, thanks to the Supreme Court, black districts are going to get erased all across the South, which is horrible for civil rights. But pretty great for all the new civil rights movies we're gonna be making, you know? So this is fantastic from like a Denzel-only perspective. And obviously, the Supreme Court didn't come right out and say that states can be racist. Justice Palpatine isn't that dumb, all right? He played it much smoother.
Justice Samuel Alito writing, race can only be taken into account when there's evidence that a state intentionally drew its districts to afford minority voters less opportunity because of their race.
That's crazy, all right? So just to be clear, for Alito, the map is not racist unless the guy drawing it finishes it and goes, man, I'm racist. Now, if you're watching this whole thing unfold and you're thinking to yourself, this seems pretty racist, Republicans have great news for you.
I think after 160 years after the Civil War, it's time that we didn't have a race-based reason for doing things.
In 2026 in the United States, the reasons to use race for line drawing deliberately that occurred to remedy discrimination in the South 50 years ago no longer exist in America.
The court said you have to have modern examples of how voters have been racially discriminated against. And fortunately, America has come a long way since the 1960s. It has, fortunately.
It's the end of pretending that this is a racist country.
Racism's over. Oh boy, I can finally use my real voice. What's up, dog?
Tonight, we're talking about the election for governor in California. And after frontrunner Eric Swalwell dropped out to spend more time with his lawsuits, this race is wide open.
For the first time in 20 years, a Republican could win statewide office.
And because of California's jungle primaries, Democrats could wind up shut out of the general election if none of them make it to those top two slots.
Okay, sure, a Republican could win, but this is California. All the Democrats have to do is find a candidate with the slightest bit of charisma, and this thing is just over. How about former HHS Secretary Javier Becerra?
Just finished the session to talk about the governor's race. I'm at the theater. Finished my session. I deserve a little treat.
Yikes. This feels like running into your math teacher at the mall.